What's up, y'all? It's Brian back with the Monday Unstuck session. I'm going to, we're going to actually, you guys are going to be joining us kind of midstream in terms of conversations. Let me go ahead and make some adjustments here to my screen, making sure that I'm showing up the right way. Okay. On the Unstuck sessions, we really sit down and chop it up about different ways that businesses can get themselves unstuck. And stuck can be either they're stuck from an aspect of, oops, that's not what I wanted. They're stuck from an aspect of, um, they're stuck from an aspect of marketing. They could be stuck from an aspect of um, business ownership. There could be a systems thing. And so really the concept is providing people the tools and the framework they need to get themselves moving forward. And that's really what the Unstuck Sessions is about. um, I think a lot of times we get really super caught up in, you know outcomes. Like we get over reliant on outcomes, and we expect too much of ourselves. And so that's really what this is about. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about how you're supposed to, how the difference between using content and creating content from a framework of being a content creator, influencer, and how business owners and professionals can utilize content to be their resume and lead with that. So that's what we have on today's episode. Fearless is going to be joining me here. So I'm going to get this thing rolling. All right. Welcome back to the show, guys. Um, Fearless, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Ooh, do I have audio? Need to make sure I have audio here. Camera, audio. Oop, that's not the audio I want to use. Check, check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
Hmm. What am I missing? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, my guy.
Okay, I can't hear you. Let me fix that. That's not right. Oh, this is
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Fearless. I can hear you. I can't hear. Well, I mean, you can hear me, but you can't hear. I can't hear you.
So is that on? You can't hear me. So I was gonna say, is that on me or you?
Weird. If anybody's out there watching, give us a high sign if you can actually hear me on the audio. This is odd. Okay. What am I doing wrong? Live TV, folks. Sorry. I normally don't have audio issues with this. Okay. I got it.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? I think my headphones crashed. I think the headphone driver crashed, so I can't really hear anything. I'm gonna try running it through my mic and see if that works. All right. So now I can hear myself. Still can't hear anybody else. This is crazy. Y'all, I apologize. This is throwing me off. Hold on one second. Let me check out something. Fearless, like you can hear me and I can't hear you, and I don't know why that's what the case is with that. That doesn't make any sense. And I kind of need to be able to hear you to do this thing the right way. Oh, I see it. Never mind. Got it.
What happened?
I think I got it. Okay. So now at least I can hear something, but Fearless, I still can't hear you.
I didn't say nothing yet.
Let me
So
try
now?
something. Like I don't know, man. I've never had this issue before on this live stream.
Hmm.
It's kind of frustrating because I had a lot in store for this. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through here and make sure all my other stuff is closed. Hello?
Can you hear me now? No.
Still no audio.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't call it, y'all. Literally same setup we've always had. I don't know why I can't hear Fearless today. So
Hello? Can any of you hear me?
I'm unplugging and plugging my mic in. This is crazy. I've never had this issue. Headphones over ear. This is crazy. I've never had this issue. Hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I just can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
And I think a lot of it has to do with what speaker this is coming out of.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
So while we're stumbling through this, I appreciate y'all hanging tight with us. We're going to figure out this audio thing. I need to figure out what the output. Let me switch. I'm gonna switch it to the mic and see if I can get some sound there. This is not what I wanted to go through, y'all. Again, live stream, live TV. It was working before. Fearless, say something.
Hey, you. Nothing.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, it's got to go through the mic then. Does it sound okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right, let's do this thing then. All right, guys, welcome back. I apologize for the audio issues. Yeah, live TV. That's how it goes.
8 minutes of live trial and error. But again, though, man, that's what our show is for the most part. Is trial and error, man. You figure it out and just keep going until you get it done, man.
Right. So I wanted to kind of jump into the meat of what we were talking about. And I just done a video for this service because one of my clients I'm working with, and I'm also working with Fearless as well. But one of the things I've been doing for the last 6 months in the background is helping a friend distribute their podcast, and conversations that we've had with the Career Level Up podcast with Brian Bell. He told me, we're getting job offers. He's getting opportunities to mentor people. He's getting freelance opportunities off of a very small audience because this is a super intentional thing that we're doing, and it's not for everybody. He's out in Silicon Valley. The advice he's giving is from the perspective of an HR professional, but he's also bringing in C-suite executives and stuff like that to tell people what they need to do to advance their careers in Silicon Valley. That's what the audience is. And so he's getting a lot of reach out just from the posts that we're doing on LinkedIn and on YouTube and stuff like that. And
Got
so
it.
what I do with him is I will distribute the content, I clip it and repurpose it across social media, but then I also write a newsletter for each episode. I write a newsletter article and it breaks down the main points in each episode so that people can get some value out of it. And because of that, we've turned that piece of content into an intentional machine
Mhm.
that drives outcomes. And so Fearless and I were just kind of talking about his journey with it. So for those that aren't familiar, Fearless, tell them what you're doing, man.
I am doing 100 days of live coaching, Q&A, and training, and this is today. I believe will be day 87. And when we say straight, we mean no days off, for an hour and 30 minutes every night. Um, Rain, sleep, fall, hail, you name it, I'm there. Um, and again, I when I started off again, I just wanted to do some training because I love teaching people stuff. I love training, all that stuff, and I've been wanting to do it for a long time.
Mhm.
And I got with Brian. Oh my God, like damn, I was like a year
Yep.
or so ago. I think got with him about a year or so ago. We hooked up through a mutual friend of ours, Diane Bruce from the Chamber of Commerce here in Bellevue. She put us in contact with each other, and we've been literally riding with each other ever since. And it literally our our relationship literally started off as again like, hey man, like what cameras do I need? What do I need for this? I gave him I gave him a outline of what I wanted to do. He's like, all right, cool. So he told me exactly what to do, what to get. I, usually when Brian tells me something, I do it right then and there. So if he says, "Hey, matter of fact, Brian, show him your mic."
Yep. So right here.
So the mic that he has, if you notice, I have the same one. The only thing that's different is my what is this called?
Um
Condom wrapper.
if you want to call it that. Um
My condom wrapper is a little different, or whatever. But everything he has, I have the same thing. Even from camera, I have a little nicer camera. I don't know what camera he's using right
I'm
now.
actually I think that's part of the reason why I have my audio issues because I'm actually using my Osmo right now. And I had to change I didn't change my other settings on it.
Oh yeah, you got to do that, champ.
Yep.
Yeah, because mine is not running through. My audio is running through the computer. But my Osmo is running off of the computer, but it's not connected to each other.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so I mean, and I'm also working with Apple, which is superiorly better. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I know I was gonna get that, but so anyway, going back to what we were doing. So what I've been doing, I've wanted to branch out and do some coaching and stuff like that. I am a life coach. I teach philosophical principles, and I've been wanting to do it for years, man. And I came up with all kind of excuses. I met with Brian. He told me like, bro, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start little, start small, or whatever. I just want you to get this, get that, get that. Just get used, comfortable being on camera. Like just shoot a couple videos,
Mm-hmm.
see how you look, and see how you sound. Go from there. And we did that for I want to say for a while actually, and then later on we hooked up again, and then we started doing it together, and we would record all these videos, but I I would never put them out
Yep.
because I was always nervous. I was always scared. I'm not ready. What about the lighting? What about this? What about that? And one day, synchronistically, Brian and I were like, why don't we just start going live? All right, that works. And then I wanted to start doing it more and more and more, but Brian didn't have the time. So I said, you know what, man? After meeting this lady, getting her thing down, I'm like, I'm gonna start doing that. And her thing was 15 days, 15 pieces, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally what it started from. And now we're on day 87. And I have about 80 different presentations or whatever. So like 80 of them. We're not talking about the same type of shit. Everything's a little different. Um, and at first I kind of thought that, this is just something that everybody's supposed to do. And it wasn't until Brian was like, bro, I don't think that you understand what you're doing. And he didn't mean that in a negative way. He's saying that you are doing a year's worth of work.
Mm-hmm.
I see a couple years worth of work within 90 days within 100 days. That's almost unheard of.
Yep.
And not like it's one thing if you're just doing 15, 20-minute videos, something like that. Yeah, because at that point you can batch content your stuff, which is do an hour-long video and then send it to Opus Pro. It'll batch it all up for you, cut everything up, send it out for you. You said what you're doing is number one, you're going live.
Yep.
Which is unheard of. Every night with a different subject, bro, you are literally in a league of your own. Like, and I literally thought like, nah, I thought he was kind of gassing me up. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. We just had this conversation.
Yep, that's what I wanted to bring in.
We just had this conversation. I'm like, dude, I thought you were just kind of gaslighting me. Not to be a dick
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, but to kind of like, oh man, you're doing such a good job. And so I was talking to Chat GPT, which I have full conversations with AI. I'm not even gonna bullshit y'all. It's like 2:00 in the morning. And I was like, dude, is this usual? And it was saying no, not at all. Not whatsoever. Matter of fact, what was that thing that you showed me, Brian? The other AI that will take everything you do and it'll create this whole entire ecosystem for you.
That's Manus AI. So
Manus AI.
Yep, it's an AI agent.
Even Manus, which is it's more in depth than ChatGPT by what 10, 20%, somewhere around there.
It's in terms of a lot, and ChatGPT is actually developing the ability to do this, but Manus can do multiple tasks, can interface with other programs, and actually do like it can check itself. It can do multiple sequence tasks at once.
Mm-hmm. And so, even when we were, if you remember, because you went through it with me, it was saying that what I was doing wasn't predictable. Do you remember it saying that?
Mm-hmm.
What was saying like this isn't. What phrase did it use? It wasn't realistic.
Sustainable.
It wasn't sustainable or realistic that a person would do 100 videos every single night for that period of time that are all different. It was saying that's no. So even then, I'm like, that's odd because I'm actually doing that. So I don't know what that's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of shit on that program. I was like, that thing don't know what the fuck it's talking about. And then I'm looking at ChatGPT, and then Brian, and I put all those three things together, and I'm like, bro, am I literally in a league of my own right now? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was asking these questions because even as a certified life coach, I teach philosophical principles. Like this is what I do. I teach strategy. I teach structure. I help people reframe their perspective. I'm good at that shit. I'm not good. I'm fucking amazing at it. But even that thing was telling me, like I felt like kind of like an imposter. So that's why I was asking, like, is this normal?
Well, and so that goes into the framework we were talking about, because one of the things I told Fearless is the beginning is like you're doing a year's worth of work in 100 days. You're condensing a year's worth of repetition in terms of going live into 100 days. And most people don't really do that because what happens is people get caught up in this validation seeking cycle where they post something online and they instantly run to see how many views they got. And how many people saw it and how many people do it. And we're all susceptible to it right now. Like I could look up in the corner and see how many people are watching right now. But It doesn't serve you if you're trying to build a basis or a framework for creating an actual content engine to advance what your goals are. A lot of times people are our frame of reference is kind of limited to, like, in Fearless, I've talked about it off stream, on stream. Our frame of reference is kind of limited to like what a Mr. Beast does, where he is most of his revenue comes from ads and viral content. And so he can drop a video and have 100 million views on it and
Yes.
make a couple $1 million off of Google ads on a daily basis. That is not realistic. That's not a realistic lane for most people. And so for a lot of people that are trying to tip their toe into the content waters, you have to have a different framework. You have to have a different expectation of what validation looks like. And more times than not, it's going to be a little bit slower, but it's also going to be more lucrative. You could talk to a lot of branding experts, a lot of people that do work with social media influencers, and a lot of the big name influencers aren't making the kind of money that you would think they would for an audience as big, because they don't have any framework underpinning it. It's not intentional. There's no machine underneath it.
Mhm.
And so when I say a machine, you're making content for a purpose. You're making content to educate people. You're making content to get people to decide that they're going to utilize you in your in service delivery and stuff. So it's a different monster. It's a different beast. We've all seen that little cute couple on social media. They make the funny videos or whatnot. The reason why they're able to do that is because they built a machine underneath. Because now they're getting inquiries from brands. Hey, what do we need to pay you to have our brand sponsored in your video?
Mhm.
What do we need to pay you to come out and film content at our resort? So there's a machine behind that piece of it.
Right.
But it took years to get there. And you can duplicate that without needing 100,000 people watching you.
Mhm.
The career level up podcast that I'm doing, we have like 75 subscribers, but it's still constantly generating opportunities
Mhm.
for the host. And I'm talking about real career six figure and up level opportunities
Right.
for him, where he's in a position where there's so many opportunities laid out in front of him. The hard part is deciding which one he's going to follow up on. And
Okay, say that one more time, champ.
yes, so many opportunities laid out in front of him that the hard part is deciding which opportunity he's going to follow up on. That comes from 75 viewers and a
Right.
modest footprint on LinkedIn. I can tell you, since I've started recording and putting stuff on LinkedIn, and it hasn't always been the most consistent thing. I get recruiters are always sending me stuff for C-suite, which is like executive. I get offers to be fractional CMO, which is a part-time chief marketing officer for
Mhm.
companies and stuff. This stuff normally comes into my LinkedIn inbox on a pretty consistent basis, just based on my visibility and people seeing me talk about what I know about business and marketing online. And so I'm very humble about it. And I say, I'm not where I want to be, but this is the vehicle that I'm going to use to get to where I want to be. And you can join me along on the journey if you're interested. And so we're going to go into the next thing that Fearless and I talked about, because this is actually the meat of what we were talking about. But the reality for y'all out there that are watching this is, here's the thing, if you're not making content and benefiting off of social media, you're the consumer. You're the product. You're the product at the end of the day. Your eyeballs are the things that they're monetizing. They're trying to capture your attention and show you as many ads as possible while you're on platform.
Gotcha.
And that's fine if that's where you want to be. But if you have career aspirations, or even you want to chase the fame thing, you got to start looking and being intentional about what you post and where you post it and what audience you're chasing down. And when you're intentional about it, your audience doesn't grow that fast. When you're just blasting stuff out there, yeah, anybody can find it. If you're just blasting out, hey, I'm gonna blow up my house, I'm gonna blow up my house and see what happens. You're going to have a lot of viewers.
A whole
It,
bunch of them.
does it add value to your life? Not
Eh,
really. And now you're
eh.
homeless.
Now you're homeless.
And so there's
I
a
love it. He said, now you're homeless.
there's a different mind state that comes along with it. And I do have an outline I'm following, but I want to talk about it because Fearless and I were just talking about this. The difference between, because there's a lot of guru BS out there, and some of it is useful, some of it is not. We're talking about the fake it till you make it, the Russell Brunson, you only need to read a few chapters ahead of your clients, that kind of mentality, create it before it's done kind of thing. And Fearless and I actually got into a pretty layered conversation about it, because there is something in there that rings true for you about just getting started and starting ugly. And we've even done a podcast about it.
I like how you said that, starting ugly. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, hold on. I like that. Keep going, sir.
And so there's something in it about just getting started and not trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be so damn perfect when you get started. But the other side is there's also a lot of people in the social media space that get a lot of viewers selling them BS, telling them business, giving them business models that they've never tried before and they have no experience with, but saying, hey, this is the vehicle that you need for your success. There was a lot of drop shipping content. And for those who don't know what drop shipping is where you open up a business, you take orders, and a third party fulfills those orders and ships them to whoever orders them, right? So, and a lot of businesses have been built on that. A lot of businesses died around the pandemic behind drop shipping.
So how did they die?
Because a lot the drop shipping capital of the world was China, and with the pandemic, it slowed things down to a crawl. So something that could be fulfilled here in a week took a month.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's a different thing when you're ordering a little fancy doodad that costs $30. It's cheap and it fulfills a purpose. You're willing to wait a week for it. You might be willing to wait 2 weeks for it, but you sure as hell ain't ready to wait a month for this thing to come. And so what happens was people would order it, it wouldn't get there, and then they would cancel their order. Well, since the drop shipper is a third party, the person owning the business still has to eat that cost. They don't have any control over the manufacturing or the shipping or anything along those lines. And so they are still responsible for the customer service piece, even though they don't have any access to the product.
Bro. Okay, so I got to tell you this. So there was this lady who that same exact thing happened or whatever, and it was so funny. Like I find it funny. I'm sure she did not. But her and her family did something. I think that's kind of what they did with camping equipment, like these, like, tents or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like portable tents or something like that. And she was on there. She's selling them. They sold so many. It was crazy. They used it once, sent it back to get their money back.
Yep.
That woman was online crying.
Yep.
She was pissed because she's like, dude, you guys sent these back. We have that money comes out of our pockets.
Yeah.
We have to pay all. I was like, damn.
But them people don't care.
Crazy. Like, bro, it'd be one thing if it was like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was hundreds of people who bought them. It's used it once and sent it straight back.
And that's a design issue that could be anything where, it could be a way that they present the offer or whatnot, or it could be the product wasn't what they expected.
And I mean, but all those people,
yeah, and
all
so
of them,
and and so that knowledge about what can happen when you're in a product facing business where you have physical products, you're not going to get that from Mr. YouTuber that just learned about product businesses from watching other YouTube videos. You're going to get that knowledge from somebody who's actually done it and been burnt by the business model. And so a lot of times, what happened is on YouTube specifically, People will make big old posts about business models they've never done and tell you the ins and outs of them based on no information. They have no framework of understanding, but they're still doing it because they saw some other YouTuber talking about it. And so when I talk about start before you're ready, that is not what I'm talking about. There's more value in, hey, I'm starting this thing. I don't know how to do it, but you guys can learn along with me. That's what
that's what I did.
That's what valuable content is.
That's what I did. I told people, so I'll have to go back and, dude, I don't even know if can I go back and look at can we go back and find my original post?
Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, I know I've done so many.
Well,
Man.
and so one of the things is a lot of YouTubers will, especially, when you're looking at it, like if you're on YouTube, if you're watching an 18-year-old guru, unless they can show you proof of concept and what they're able to deliver, that guru probably learned by watching a bunch of other YouTubers do the same.
Yeah, that part.
And no practical experience. Right. And so you have to really hedge your bets and really be hyper aware of what's going on in the background of, do they actually have the basis of knowledge? And so when I say start before you're ready, I'm assuming that either you're in a frame where you're ready to learn and have people watch your learning process, or you have the knowledge, the hands-on application of the thing, and you're teaching them from, I'm new at live streaming, I'm new at broadcasting, I'm new at recording myself, but I'm not new at doing the thing that I'm showing you how to do. That's what I'm talking about, is start before you're ready. I'm not saying jump in here with no framework of what you're doing and do it. Because the thing with, Fearless and I were talking about, I've done episodes. You guys can go back in my library and see all the videos I've done about imposter syndrome and stuff. It never quite goes away, but the thing that you can hedge it with is proof. If you have proof that what you're able to do or what you're able to create, you can bypass some of those feelings of the imposter syndrome a bit. It may never go away, but at least you know what you're talking about. You're not selling people dreams. When I say charlatans and con artists never really suffer from imposter syndrome, is because they feel no accountability for the outcomes their information creates. When you feel accountability for the outcomes your information creates, you're operating in a different frequency, in a different lane than anybody else. And so these are the conversations that Fearless and I are having off stream. And so that I'm saying a lot to say this. One of the things I'm offering, and I've done, I was recording before we even got on, I was recording some promotional content for it. It's a service I provide. I actually help you set up your live stream, set up your content, teach you the ins and outs of recording it, and then help you distribute it and clip it and repurpose it and utilize it to actually drive real outcomes. I'm not promising that you're going to go viral. I'm not saying that you won't. Right. I'm not saying that you won't go viral, but I'm not promising you that shit. I'm not promising you're going to go viral, and you don't want to.
No, not early on. So yeah, this is my post. March 20th, big announcement. Listen up. Tomorrow night, 3/21, 25. This is what I'm going to be doing, right? I put 100 days of live coaching challenge. This is personal. After 23 years as a certified coach, it's time for me to take it up a notch. I've built my life and coaching practice on one core superpower, which is perspective. For the next 100 nights at 8:30, it's at 10 o'clock. I'm going live and willing to help anybody to help make that shift. Bring your dreams, goals, aspirations, problems, roadblocks, wild ideas. I might not have all the answers, but I promise I will give you a hell of a perspective. And sometimes that's all you need, is that spark to get changed. So whether you're stuck striving or simply searching for clarity, pull up, let's talk, let's grow, let's reframe the ordinary and make it extraordinary. And that again was 3/20 is when I made this post. And I'm just saying though, man, you gotta just start the damn thing. You
Yeah.
know, like again, and guess what? I don't have that many people on my stuff at all. I do not. Because it wasn't my objective to get a whole bunch of people there. My
Right.
objective was to teach shit. That's what I do. My objective was to coach. My objective is to answer questions.
Right.
So that's so I'm doing exactly what I said I was going to do. And we are day 87 and we're about to be done with it.
Yeah.
So again, I wanted to show you guys like firsthand, like that's what it is. That's what it is.
Right.
You know, I mean, dude, I just started. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, you know, and I built um again like my first episode. Um hold on, let me see. I don't know if they save them the same way. Is
Well,
this the same? I don't know if they say because this is 57. I don't think that they save it the same exact way.
well,
I know if you go into my YouTube, Ags Fearless, it's everything's in there. Um, but yeah, dude, that's all it was. I just got the idea and said, fuck it, let's go do it.
well, and
Nasty and ugly and all, just get it started.
and I think a lot of times we spend too much time trying to be too perfect to get started, and there's no authenticity behind it. Like you spend so much time trying to show up in a perfect manner and show up with the right camera angles and the right cuts and right transitions and the right all this other stuff that you spend so much time thinking about it that you never do show up at all. And I think people get too caught up and get too caught up in the appearance of it. Like I said, the framework to go viral, and I'm about to give you the frameworks here, so just stay tuned. But the framework to go viral is completely different than the framework to actually build a content system that creates opportunities for you consistently. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the two different playbooks real quick. Okay. Over here is the content creator slash influencer playbook. Okay. The goal is to go viral, get ad revenue, grow a following, um, be known, be famous, all that other stuff that goes along with it. What comes with it is you're hopping from trend to trend. Your information is really algorithm based. It may or may not align with what your goals or values are. Your goal is to get as many eyeballs on your content as possible, to get as many brand deals from people as possible. A brand deal is where somebody pays you to talk about their product in their video. That's what the influencer thing is. The content isn't really with intent. It's about I need as many people to. The intent is actually I need as many people to look at this thing as humanly possible. And a lot of times when you're doing that, what you're appealing to is the lowest common denominator. You're setting yourself up to always be in the lowest common denominator. And when you're dealing with lowest common denominator, you also have to deal with all the people that are jealous of what you're doing, the people that want to be in your seat, the people that hate you. And so there's a lot of negativity that comes from that lowest common denominator. Okay.
I don't think I would get something like that.
No.
I mean, because I don't think I'm in that space for that. I like to teach.
And so,
no, I mean, that's my thing.
And so that's why that's one playbook. And if you're interested in that playbook, hold on a second. If you're watching, you're interested in that. I want to be the influencer, content creator. I want to be the next Mr. Beast or I Show Speed or KSI or whoever. If you want to be that, stay tuned. I'm not saying that's a completely useless framework. I'm saying if you are a business owner, if you are trying to create opportunities for your career, utilizing content online and build an online resume utilizing content, you don't want to be in the content creator influencer space. But there's some crossover. So here's the other playbook. This is the career professional. This is the founder. This is the thought leader. This is the person that owns a business. This is the person that's trying to advance in their career. Okay. Your goal is to build visibility and establish authority. Now, the building visibility looks different. You want to be visible to the people that matter to you. You want to be visible to the people that can bring the opportunities to you. And so The framework is a little bit longer. It's a longer tail. It takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more to grow. But this is consistently positioning yourself and long-term thinking and strategically repurposing content, creating it once, utilizing it as many times as you need to. You're not chasing the content wheel. And there's some crossover here. So if I'm looking on YouTube, there are camera influencers, and I watch a lot of them because I'm a camera nerd. They are kind of playing both sides of it because yes, they have a business. Some of them are full-time photographers or videographers, and they're driving business to themselves. Other times their business is presenting camera equipment and getting, paid from affiliate marketing and all the other stuff that goes into it. So they have to have they have a very narrow audience, a very narrow scope of what they're going to talk about, but they have a pulse of what their audience is. So they may not go viral, but they make opportunities for themselves with the content that they're making. They're creating opportunities to travel. Sony is known for, they pick a handful of whenever they drop a new camera, they pick a handful of content creators in space to fly them out to like Hawaii or somewhere where they have a lot of really scenic views for them to test out the equipment in live. So you could create those opportunities, but the career professional, founder, and thought leader, your use of social media looks different. And the thing you have to let go of, the thing you must let go of is validation. If you are taking this seriously, you must release this idea that you have to have some sort of outside validation in order to continue. That's where I'm jumping back a little bit when Fearless was talking about doing the 100 days. He's letting go of the sense of validation. And it can feel like you're yelling into the void.
Yep.
But if you need that immediate feedback to continue on, it's not going to happen. Most people don't know you're online. Your friends and family don't even know you're online. Your Facebook profile shows your content to maybe 3% of your audience in any given time.
And you want to know something, and not to cut you off, but if you remember, so I have 4,900 and some odd friends on Facebook, right? You want to know the percentage of the people that show up every single night? 0.2%.
Yep.
Not even 2%. 0.2%. So that means that anywhere between 5 to 9 people show up every single night. But here's the thing. It's usually the same exact people that consistently keep showing up. Yep. Now, people stop in, they see that I went live. Oh, okay. And then they go about their business or whatever, right? But these are also the same people, ironically enough, who have more issues, who have more problems than everybody else. But right now, it's not the right time to get that help, to seek not necessarily validation, but to get the assistance, to get the tools, the tips, the strategies, the techniques to get over that thing. So then years down the road, when you're seeing this, which you've already known, because I've put the post out on multiple occasions, hey man, can you help me? Sure, but I'm going to charge. I have to. Well, why would you do that? Well, because I was doing it for free for 100 days. You stopped in, you said hello several times, but you didn't ask those questions. You didn't pull me off the side. Hey, can we talk off air? Of course we can. Yes.
Yep.
So when I tell people those 100 days, and that's what these 100 days were for, that's what they were for. So the people that, and again, we have the 8 or 9, 5 to 9 people who come every single night. They will tell you what they've gained from being here.
Yep.
They'll tell you all day long, yo, y'all should have been there. This was crazy. And they have told people. Or whatever. Some people kept showing up. Some people like, hey, man, I got this, that, and the other going on. Perfect. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to fuck my name. My name is Fearless. That is my legal name. That is on my passport. That is on my documentation. That is on my credit report. Anything you look up, that's where you will see. I'm going to change my name to Second Mortgage because that's how much I'm going to charge you motherfuckers when I'm done with this under thing. Go ahead though, bro.
So the thing is, and this is kind of the crux of what we're saying is, Fearless has gotten opportunities just by showing up. People have offered to pay him for his
And I
services.
decline it.
He
I've
declines it.
declined.
He's declined it. He's refunded people for it and stuff like that because the opportunities are popping up. What I'm telling you guys is, you don't have to have a massive audience. You don't have to buy into the lie of virality of being the most important thing. You just need to show up and establish yourself as somebody that can help solve a problem for somebody, and you know what you're talking about. More times than not, the benefits you have over these little YouTubers that are chasing the next viral trend is, you know what you're talking about. You're a career professional. You're an industry professional. You have insider knowledge and actual real life experience of what you're talking about. And so that's the thing that separates you from little young YouTuber who hops on there and they're just chasing the next trend. They're telling you about the next job, their next business model, the template business model. They're telling you about the next thing that they've seen some other YouTuber talking about, that they've seen some other YouTuber talking about. And so the thing that's separating you is you actually have working knowledge of the thing that you're trying to tell them. And a lot of these cats don't. And so you're not going to get, I'm be honest with you, you're not going to get the validation you're looking from out the gate, because more times than not, the stuff that goes viral on YouTube doesn't really go that deep. Stuff that goes viral on TikTok doesn't really go that deep. It doesn't really try to deliver that. It doesn't try to deliver reality. They want to sell dreams. But the people that are looking for reality are also the people that have higher intent, and they're willing to do business with you, or they're willing to, they see you on there sharing your industry knowledge and say, I have to have that person on my team. Find them on LinkedIn and reach out to them.
And not only that though, but you got to remember, those 5 to 9 people that show up every single night, every night, they're there with me for an hour and a half every night, from 8:30 until 10 o'clock at night, and sometimes even past that. But they're with me throughout that whole time.
Yep.
That whole entire time. Think about that. With most people having ADD, ADHD, we have that microwave type of mindset nowadays or whatever, that we're on to the next thing 15, 20 minutes later. Shit, these people are with me for hours.
Right.
On in. So again, it's one thing to, like, I was asking ChatGPT to help me create a show from 101, because I'm gonna do 101 episodes, right? Because you got to do that, what you said, and then go above and beyond what you said you were gonna do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, help me write out, a few things that I've learned, and I gave it a list of things that I've already learned, and it just helped me structure things. But it threw in this thing, and actually, I think I took it out. Let me see if I can rewind it.
So
go back. But go ahead, man.
So the thing is, and this is what we're offering, I'm gonna just throw it out here.
Yeah, please do.
So if you're watching this and saying, and you're on the fence and you're like, okay, I want to create content, I think I have a specific reason. It's not just so that I can be popular. I want you to think, are you prepared to deal with the small audience? Are you prepared to not get that immediate validation? Now, if you're prepared to forego those kind of things, here's the opportunity. Either you can be the influencer that has a lot of people that don't offer them out any opportunities or do any business with them. They just watch, and then they watch the next one and watch the next one. Would you rather have that and get a brand deal that's like, we'll pay you $10,000 to talk about this thing one time? Or would you rather have somebody hit you up on LinkedIn and say, I saw your video, I like how you think, we need you to interview for this $100,000 position or $200,000 position. I saw you on here. How do I book you? How do I book you in? How do I get your services? How do I get access to those where you can set the price? These are the differences between the viral I want to be popular kind of content versus the intent driven content. And
Mhm.
so those are the buckets that you're in. Either one of those is viable. Even if you want to go the content creator popular thing, you need to spend some time in the professional realm so that you can build a framework that actually makes money and you can actually make a real business out of the thing, as opposed to just posting and hoping somebody discovers you.
Hmm.
So if you are serious about it, you still have to approach it with an intent and a business mind, even if you're just doing entertaining content. Because I've seen people doing entertaining content, they spin it off into stand-up gigs. They stand it up into live shows where audiences pay to watch them do the podcast in a live audience, in front of a
Yeah,
live audience.
yeah.
I've seen them spin it into merch. I've seen them spin it into talk shows. I've seen them spin it into movie deals. I've seen it. Look at Drewski and all those guys. Those guys that just do funny content, he's actually made a career out of this. There's a framework underneath what he does. You need to spend some time in the business side of this, even if you just want to be entertaining.
Mhm.
Because being entertaining and funny online is fine, but if you just want to do it for the love of the game, knock yourself out. If you want to make a career out of it, you need to have a business framework, because they'll tell you, and it's not BS when I'm telling you this. A lot of YouTubers that have 1 million subscribers are making less than you do at your job or running your business.
So when you say that, because YouTube does pay people
Mhm.
anywhere from $5 to $10 per
Million.
thousand
Yep.
videos that people are doing
Hmm.
per thousand. And now every time I see a person's video and it's at like 30,000, I'm like, damn, you made, what is that, $30?
$30 in
Like,
ad revenue.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and then that, but again though, but what happens if, like, for me, I have YouTube Premium, so I don't pay for that. I don't see any of those ads
Hmm.
or any of that stuff or whatever, right? I pay to not see that. So when I'm watching somebody else's stuff, I'm like, dude, why you got all these ads in here? And they're like that.
That's how
That's
they make money. And for those that are just
funny.
focused on that with no business underpinning it, so they're not doing affiliates marketing, they're not having brands reach out to them directly. They're just trying to survive off of ad revenue, and that's doomed, because your ad revenue is also dependent on what kind of ads they can show on your stuff, and they make sure that the ads align with what your audience is. And so if you're just doing content for teenagers that just want to watch stuff blow up, the stuff that you could sell to a teenage audience is a lot less expensive than the stuff you can sell to adults that are looking to buy your computer system. Or you see what I'm saying, where you have somebody who's looking to buy, the components to build a server at their job, or buy this new software as a solution thing that they have to pay $15,000 a year to license.
Mhm.
So those ads, if you're making business content for professionals, even if you're in, hey, I'm trying to get ad revenue, the further you go up the ladder, the more valuable those eyeballs become. So if your content is being shown to people that make decisions in corporations, and the big power movers, they can show you more expensive stuff. Does that
Mhm.
make sense? And so your CPM, what you can make per mil, they're going to show different ads. And since those ads sell higher costing products, you make more per view. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So entertainment YouTubers, they may be selling toys and stuff, but this person that has 10,000 subscribers, they're selling high ticket software. Like the ads that are showing on theirs is high ticket software, camera equipment, cameras that cost a couple $1,000s. And
Mhm.
so those advertisers pay more because that audience is worth more. So not all ad revenue is the same, but even then,
Hmm.
That ad revenue is inconsistent. YouTube, Google can change an algorithm like that. Your channel goes from having a lot of viewers to having a few viewers, or something happens with one of the people that you've aligned with, and you end up getting drugged down with them. And
Okay.
so the ad revenue isn't the most consistent path until you get to like a Mr. B status where, you know, you actually have to
And
actively
there
try to
is
chase
no
off business.
there is no until you get to that, because
Yeah,
the likelihood of you getting to that, and that man will tell you himself,
it's
you will
slim to
not,
none.
you are not going to get to his standpoint.
Oh,
You're not going to get to where he is, period. I mean, like, I don't want to say period because it is very possible to do it. If he did it, somebody else could do it too. But
well,
the resources that he has, that he's accumulated, and that he puts back into everything he does, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't understand it.
yeah.
I don't understand why somebody would want to do that. But that's just me.
Well,
Now I'm not cool. Mr. Beats is fucking with. Now here's I will tell you this. His burger, that burger that he got, oh my god, that is so good. His fries is trash, but them burgers are delish.
well, the thing is, the reason why he does it, he'll tell you it's for the love of the game and stuff. And he's obsessed with it. He
That's
also
what's up.
he also tells you the dark side where he's like, people don't know the level of anxiety that I live with. In fact, I don't sleep at night, and I don't have any friends, and family's
Mhm.
distant, and all this other stuff that goes into it because he's so locked in on the video thing. But then the other side is, it also made him $1 billion. So I mean, that's kind of the other caveat to that.
I
One,
mean, he has no boundaries,
yeah, one of
no personal boundaries at all.
one of the reasons why it's unlikely that you're going to get as an entry level YouTuber in 2025. It's unlikely that you're going to reach that status. Is when Mr. B started, when Logan and Jake Paul started, YouTube was still relatively new. The creator program was new. The landscape was different. They were able to build momentum in the early stages to cement themselves into the game. Like I started this.
Because that's kind of who was all there.
Yeah,
That was it.
I have it. My YouTube channel says 2011. I mean, I started in 2011. That means I started this Gmail account around that time. But or whatever, I started whatever accounts associated to it. But if you started in 2011, 2010, you have a framework, you have a pathway to be MKBHD. You have the pathway and framework to be Linus, in the tech reviews and stuff like that. You have the framework to be Mr. Beast. You have the framework to be, Logan and Jake Paul, where you have all of this other stuff. You have that framework to be Casey Neistat if you start early, but you don't have the benefit of jumping back in time and being there at the early stages of this when they were recording with early stage digital cameras, and you had to use Handbrake to transcode all the videos. It didn't automatically do it for you, and it was a lot harder to do. And so the reason why you're not going to get there is because you're not growing with the platform. The platform's already grown. You're trying to find your place on it so that you can continue to grow with it as it continues on where it's at.
So that would include the money too, though, correct?
Yeah.
Because that was, and now again, I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating. So if they're paying $5 to $10 per thousand videos,
Per thousand views. Yep.
per thousand views, that probably would mean that number has gone down considerably. Would that be accurate? Were they paying more than this before, or you didn't have to have that many views on your stuff for them to pay you that $5 to $10?
It used to be you didn't have to have as many views, and then
Okay,
but before the adpocalypse and everything else, then they started cutting the amount. But a lot of it depends on, and this is the real. A lot of it really does depend on who your audience is and what you're talking about. If you're talking to people that are high net worth individuals that spend money on things, your audience is going to look different than selling stuff to children, selling stuff to
Right.
teenagers, content that appeals to people that don't have the resources to buy the things in the ads. YouTube isn't okay, and here and I'm getting into the weeds here, but YouTube isn't a business of selling ads, right? So when they step to a company and say, "Hey, give us money and we'll show your ads," the company's expectation is you're going to put those ads in front of people that are actually going to buy the product that we're paying you to advertise for.
So it's not just a thing that they're putting those. It's not just advertising; it's who you're advertising it to,
Yeah,
or who you're marketing that to.
who
So
your
I don't
audience
just,
is.
so I don't just want you to put an ad in the freaking newspaper
Mhm.
where everybody gets it. I could care less about everybody. I want it to go. So if I got this gym membership, or if I got this particular treadmill or whatever, I want my stuff to go to people in Whole Foods. I want my
Mhm.
stuff going to um, gyms.
Mhm.
My stuff going to personal trainers.
Yep.
Look, anybody in the fitness, health, wellness industry, however it looks, that's where I want my stuff going.
Yep.
I don't want my shit going to some gas station in the hood.
Right.
Like, give a shit over there.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's what okay, so the ad apocalypse is what happened when YouTube, one, they had really questionable content showing to children, um, because they did, and the advertisers said, I don't want my ads associated with this content. And so there's a big huge purge of channels that had that really edgy content, you know, where it's language and sexual themes and all kinds of other stuff. That's why YouTube's really harsh on that kind of stuff now.
Mhm.
But a lot of advertisers pulled back and say, we're essentially boycotting you until you clean up your platform. And so the advertisers dictate a heck of a whole lot. And so that's why, Mr. Beast kind of always has a permanent boost on the platform because he's a proven commodity. People, eyeballs watch him. And so brands pay for that. It's kind of like Super Bowl ad space. If you pay for a Super Bowl ad, um, you're paying for visibility. So that's what dictates a lot of stuff. What I'm telling y'all is even if you want to do the viral thing, you have to have a business mind behind it so that you have a very clear understanding of who your audience is. Because that makes it easier to negotiate those brand deals. It makes it easier for YouTube to put the right ads on your stuff. And so you can get paid more per ads. Okay. So I've kind of mentioned the Level Up podcast. Um, when I say positioning, we have the right audience. If I go through the analytics on LinkedIn, I see the audience of what level of people are watching it. There's a lot of C-suite, that's like CEO, CFO, heads of corporations that are watching it. There's also a lot of directors and managers watching it. Okay. And there's a good number of middle management and below employees watching it. They're watching it to see the insights from the heads of the companies.
Hmm.
And as a result, he gets people asking him to mentor them and say, what can I use? Tell me how I can get promoted. He gets inquiries from other businesses, other corporations saying, hey, we saw what you like. We like your thinking. You know, would you be interested in an opportunity at some point down the road?
Hmm.
So it opens up doors with a very, very small audience. Okay. That's the real. I already explained. Fearless is opened up doors. Fearless has had turned business away
Mhm.
on a small audience. Okay. So the idea is your content is your real resume. It's your living, breathing resume. It's your thinking. It's your style. It's your expertise. It's the way that you put things. It's all out in the open. You can't fake this in no job interview.
Mhm.
You can't fake this in a sales pitch. When people find your content and clips and your posts, they can immediately tell if you're what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's the concept that's the concept I'm trying to put into y'all's ears. So if you sit down with me and you say, hey Brian, I'm serious about this, like Fearless did. Yeah, or hey Brian, I need somebody to help me distribute this content and build a machine for me, like Brian did. If you're interested in that, I can help you out with it. you're going to have to come in with the mind frame that you aren't going to go viral more times than not. And if you do, it's great. We have to find a way to make money in your pocket. Okay. The real goal is to build consistent visibility and real authority so that people know who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. This is where I come in.
Say that again.
The real goal is to build consistent visibility and real authority so people know who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you. And this is where I step in. This is what the service I'm offering to you. This is the pitch. This is the call to action. This is whatever you want to call it. I can help you set up your content creation machine with camera equipment and all this other stuff and teach you the ins and outs of doing this and figuring out what your voice is and telling you all this stuff and then helping you with the editing. And that's really hands-on. Or if you already have content that you're creating, I can help you clip videos. I can help you redesign those captions, headlights. I can write blogs and newsletters for you and create content and platform specific stuff to drive your purpose and help you build some of those back end systems so that you can turn this content creation into opportunities for yourself. So that's how you can hit me up. That's what I can do for you. And I'm trying to be real, as honest as I can. Like I said, these people online will sell you dreams. And the reason why it's easy, the reason why they'll sell you dreams is because they don't have to have any accountability for when those dreams don't come true. I'm selling you reality, what this really going to look like. Most people ain't going to connect with it. I promise you most people aren't going to connect with it, bro. People don't want reality when they log on to social media. They want to see the highlights. If you're past that point, then me and you probably need to sit down and talk. If you still locked in on that, I'm gonna be the next whoever,
Instead of being the next you.
Yeah. Instead of being the next you, if you're not, I like that. I like that. If you're looking on being the next whoever on social media instead of being the next you, then I may not be right for you. But if you're looking at a real machine to really get your business visible and really get your career rolling, where people can look at your LinkedIn, and maybe I didn't explain this, right? When I talk about the LinkedIn stuff, I'm talking about you put your clips of you talking, showing your thinking on your LinkedIn, and you get all the CEOs and all the recruiters get a chance to really see who you are and how your brain moves. And then they're like, I want this person on my team. Or this is the expert I want to bring in to consult for X, Y, and Z. That's a real opportunity. It's happened to me. It's happened to Fearless. It's happened to Brian. These are real life things. I've had real people inbox me. Hey, I want you to consult on this marketing project. 5 figures. I'll give you 5 figures to consult on this marketing project. That's a real thing that's happened to me.
Oh, nice.
From a small social media footprint. If you want those kind of outcomes for yourself, me and you have to have a real talk. That's what I got. But let's Fearless.
Yes, sir.
Where can they find you, man?
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Facebook, 8:30. Actually, I was sitting there looking at our stuff. I think what I might start doing is putting my Facebook stuff over here.
Mm-hmm.
Or putting something over there. I don't know if it's Facebook or what specifically. Here's the thing. I do have 2 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So can I use one camera for one thing and then use my other camera for Facebook?
You should be able to. I think it depends on what your computer is able to do, because sometimes your computer may not like having 2 separate cameras attached to it. Mine doesn't have a problem with it.
Okay, well, I have an Apple, so it shouldn't.
That might actually be a problem. Yeah. You got to test it. You have to test it.
So how would I do that?
Plug in the 2 cameras and see.
They're both on now.
Yeah, and log on to 2 separate services and have the camera attached. One attached to like Facebook, the other one attached to like Instagram. and see if they cancel each other out. But
Just
um,
cancel each other.
yep. So this is kind of moving forward, y'all. This is the play. Um, I'm offering this. I'm willing to sit down and talk with you. You got to be serious about it. And you have to be serious about the creating the content. You got to be serious about I'm gonna put my thoughts out here and stand unapologetically in my expertise. You got to stand unapologetically in your expertise and really lock in on that piece of it. Um,
No, literally. I mean,
that's the
I know what I did.
hold on a second, fearless.
Gosh.
And fearless can kind of speak to standing unapologetically in what you know because it doesn't always feel comfortable, right? It doesn't always feel like you know everything. You don't have to know everything.
Nope.
You have to present what you know in the most honest way you can convey it.
And I
But
mean, and I think though, I also think though too though that it's not a. I think it's a good thing. Personally, I mean, I'm just saying I think it's an okay thing for
mm,
certain things like that. That you don't know because I think that makes people feel. Um, I think that allows people to feel a particular way
yeah.
about you in general.
Well, it
Um,
gives it gives you a
because
learning on ramp. Like
yeah,
people can learn
sure.
with you.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, otherwise it's shit's you know how annoying that is being around somebody who's a fucking know it all. It's just annoying.
Well, and if they're a know-it-all, but they're not really an expert, that's
Yeah,
where
that's
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 where it comes in. I'll
right.
listen to a know-it-all who actually knows it all. Like if you know everything, I will sit down and listen to you and let you go off. And if you got the proof of concept, go knock yourself out. The thing I don't really have tolerance for is the person that's a know-it-all on social media, but they don't really know what they're talking about.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yep. So if you're willing to stand, if you're willing to stand in your expertise unflinchingly, maybe we can sit down and talk and figure out what way you can do it. I encourage you to utilize this content stuff while it's free. These platforms are free for now. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Again, like I said, if you aren't creating opportunities for yourself, you you're the consumer. You're the product, basically. You know, you're the product for these advertisers and these corporations if you're not going to utilize it. And that's fine if you don't really want to get into it like that. But if you're looking to create opportunities for yourself, I can help you put those frameworks together. So,
Yeah, no, for sure. I love that. So I did have a question for you though.
yeah.
So how do I do this thing that you're talking about right now? Like what do I
Well, okay, so when you're saying you want to have two cameras for two separate things.
so because I want to have one for my stream yard and then I want to have the other one specifically for Facebook.
Oh, you can do that. I mean, what so you're not going to be streaming on Facebook?
Yeah, I want to stream directly from Facebook because you said that it works a lot easier.
All you got to do
And
is make sure you have the right camera selected on each platform. So the one that's connected to StreamYard, you just want to make sure that you're because you know how you can pick your camera.
see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if here. Let me
And
here.
so why don't we do this? Let me go ahead and wrap this up, and then I can finish answering this stuff off stream
Okay.
here. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm El Fearless with some technical stuff. You guys know how to reach me. My email's in the corner. Hit me up if you're
Right in the
really
corner.
if you want to take this seriously and you're ready to move on to the next level, and actually start creating those outcomes for yourself that I talked about. It's not a dream, it's reality. You just got to put in the work. I've been Brian. This has been Unstuck Sessions. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.